Okay, so good morning. So this is a recorded video lesson. So unfortunately, medyo asynchronous tayo ngayon. So hopefully na panoorin niyo itong video na to. So this is our first lesson in Principle of Steel Design, CEPST 326, Dabenlec. Okay. So at the start of this course, it is important to understand that structural design is not simply about calculation. So it is a decision-making process where safety, economy, and constructability and serviceability must all be balanced. Okay? In this subject, we focus on steel as the structural material, which plays a major role in major infrastructure such as buildings, bridges, and industrial facilities. Okay? So, as you can see from the first slide, so metals are classified into two. So, ferrous metal and non-ferrous metal. So, sa ferrous metal, principal element is iron, as in cast iron, wrought iron, and steel. So, iron are iron alloys containing less than 0.008% of carbon. Steel are carbon content between 0.04% and 2%. Chemical union of iron and carbon plus other elements. Then, there is cast iron, carbon content between 2% and 4%. And then wrought iron, highly refined iron with slag deliberately incorporated but not in chemical union with iron. So non-ferrous metal are copper, tin, lead, nickel, and aluminum. So ano bang effect ng carbon on steel? So up to 0.9%, it increases hardness, tensile strength, and responsiveness to heat treatment with corresponding increase in strength and hardness. So over 0.9% increases hardness and brittleness. Over 1.2% causes loss of malleability. So, as you can see from the first slide, steel design is governed by engineering principles that ensure structures can safely resist applied both loads throughout the service life. Diba? So, this principle include understanding load behavior, material strength, failure modes, and safety factors. So, as you future engineers, we do not design structures to fail. So instead, we design them with sufficient margin so that even under extreme conditions, collapse is prevented. Okay? So, production of steel. So, may history rin yan. So, steel production involves processes such as blast furnace, electric arc furnace methods. So, these processes control the chemical composition and mechanical properties of steel. So, understanding the steel production help engineers appreciate why different grades of steel have behave differently and why specifications must be strictly followed in design and construction. So, history of steel production during 3000 BC, iron implements used in Egypt. And then 1000 BC, hardening iron weapons by heat treatments was known to Greeks. So, ginamit na sa mga weapon. So, yung parang panday. Diba? Ika nga. As iron ore and charcoal ore are heated in forge or furnace, so the ore is reduced to sponge of metallic iron filled with slag composed of metallic impurities and charcoal ash. So as the sponge of iron is removed from the furnace, we're still incandescent and beaten by heavy sledges to drive out the slag and to weld and consolidate the iron. So sa modern steel making naman, pig iron production, so solid carbonaceous material derived from destructive distillation of low ash, low sulfur, and bituminous coal. It is made of iron ore, coke, and limestone. Okay? So, Maraming klase ng steel production pa. So, meron tayong tinatawag na finishing process. Nandiyan yung rolling, extrusion, drawing, and forging. Meron rin tayong tinatawag mga heat treatment, normalizing, annealing, quenching, and tampering. Okay? So, self-explanatory naman yan. So, here are the mechanical properties of steel. So, as you can see, steel is an alloy, di ba? Primarily composed of iron and carbon, with other elements added to improve strength, ductility, and durability. So, one of steel's most important properties is high strength to weight ratio, di ba? Which allows engineers to design lighter yet stronger structure. So, steel is so ductile. So, meaning it can undergo large deformations before failure. So, kaya tayo mayroon tinatawag na yielding strength. Pag lumabas na doon, magkakaroon na siya ng failure. So, an essential property of warning before collapse. Okay? So, number one properties of steel is elasticity. So, it is a capability of the material to return to its original form after the loads are removed. So, meron tayong tinatawag na modulus of elasticity ng steel. It is the slope of the stress-strain diagram in the region wherein the stress is proportional to the strain. Okay? And then proportional limit, it is the stress at the limit of linear proportionality, generally determined by the stress corresponding to a permanent strain of 0.01% lang. So pag sinabing strain, di ba, from your strength of materials, strain is the ratio of the deformation over the original form. Di ba? And then yield point, in the stress-strain curve wherein the steel ceases to behave as an elastic material and undergoes an increase in the strain without the increase of the load. Okay? Yung proportional limit, once again, 0.01 lang dapat yung stress limit ng steel. And then ductility, this is the amount of permanent strain. Kasi sabi ko lang kanina. So up to the point of fracture, obtained from the tension test by determining the percent elongation of the specimen. So doon natin nakikita yung Fy at saka yung Fu where it is the tensile strength. Okay? So nandin dyan yung fatigue. It is the process of gradual or progressive fracture of the crystal under repeated stress. So the impact resistance of material to failure due to brittleness under service load naman is the impact. And then flow or creep, very slow flow of material at elevated temperatures under sustained stresses. And then may corrosion and wear. Ito yung number one na ano ng steel. Ba? Can be caused by moisture, water immersion, soil contact, electrolytic process, and chemical, and other than water. Okay? So this is the steel classification for structural use. So yung carbon steel, it is 32 to 55 KSI ang yield strength. So ito yung mga A36, A53, A500, and so forth and so on. Meron tayong tinatawag na high strength low alloy steel, which is 40 to 70 KSI or to 275 to 480 megapascal. So ito yung mga A242 steel, A441, A572, A588, or yung mga grade 50. And then alloy steel, it is 80 to 110 KSI, 550 to 760 megapascal. So this is the grade 100 naman. And then may stainless steel at saka may tool steel pa. Okay? So, same rin to from the previous slide, structural steel property. This is kinuha to sa ASTM. Okay? And then the typical stress strain curves of structural steel. Yan yung typical. As you can see, di ba? Doon sa, mayroon siyang minimum yield strength, 100 KSI. Okay? So, ito yung mga klase ng structural steel and its uses. Okay? So, for example, yung carbon steel, generally used for structural purposes, bolted and welded mainly for building. Okay? So, alloying elements in the steel naman. Ito yung mga elements steel alloying elements. So manganese, silicon, sulfur, so aluminum, copper, lead, so chromium. Yeah. Well, let us proceed now to the steel structure. So, pag sinabi kasing steel structure, uh, it is an assembly of structural steel members connected together to support loads, maintain stability. So, parang sa definition ng RC, di ba? Because of steel high strength, this structure often require less material rather than concrete or timber, di ba? Steel structure are commonly used in high-rise building, industrial plants, bridges, and long-span system. So, ano kasi siya, uh, ang pagkakaiba lang naman ng RC sa steel. Yung steel kasi, mas mabilis, less material lang kailangan. Pero, medyo may kamahalan. So, less labor. Kumbaga naman sa RC, uh, yung traditional, mas mura nga siya, pero maraming labor. So, i-break even lang yung dalawa. Parehas naman matibay. Okay? So, yan. Ang sample ng mga steel structures. Okay? So, ano ba yung advantage ng steel structures? Di ba? So, steel structures offer several advantages, including faster construction time, di ba? Sabi nga, high durability, flexibility, and architectural design. Yun. And recyclability. However, these advantages can only be realized when steel structures are properly designed. So, fabricated and erected according to engineering standards. So, dapat tama yung pagkakafabricate, yung design, at kung paano inassemble yung structure. Doon mo lang marirealize yung advantage niya. Okay? So, ayan, as you can see, once again, metal structure which is made of structural steel. Obviously naman, steel structure components connected with each other to carry loads and provide full rigidity. Okay? So, sa modern construction, steel structures is used for almost every type of structures. Di ba? Okay? Lalo na sa mga high-rise building, industrial. So, ito yung mga classifications na structural steel. So, meron tayong mga tinatawag na beam, di ba? Or I-beams. Meron din, yung beams na yan, nandyan na yung I-beams, wide line section, di ba? Nandiyan yung mga W-shape, di ba? Okay. Tapos meron tayong HSS, yung tinatawag na hollow structural section. So, in layman's term, ang tawag nila dito, tubular. Diba? Channels, yan. Angles and plates. Okay. Yan yun, di ba? These shapes are designed to efficiently resist specific types of loads. Okay? Such as bending, axial force, and shear. So, choosing the correct section is critical engineering decision. Diba? For example, yung channel, di ba? Pag magkakabit ka ng roof, so mas efficient yung channel. Di ba? Kaysa mag-plate ka. Di ba? Kung mag-I-beam ka naman, napakatibay nga, pero napakamahal naman. Diba? So, obviously naman, yung pagpili niya, engineered yung decision. Okay? So, ito yung mga main structural types. So, this can be classified into different systems, such as frame structure, grid structure, or pre-stress structure, truss structure, arch structure, and so forth, and so on. So, isa-isahin natin. Yung frame structures, so this is consists mainly of beams and columns connected together. So, beams primarily resist bending, diba? While columns resist axial loads and moments. So, frame systems are commonly used in buildings. Okay? Because they provide flexibility in space, planning, and architectural design. So sa trusses naman, ito are composed of straight members connected at joints from triangular units. So these members are designed to carry either tension or compression lang. So trusses are efficient for long spans such as bridges and roof system. So makikita nyo to sa mga roof system commonly. Tsaka sa mga bridges because they minimize bending and material usage. So bridge structures, uh, steel bridges may take from in the form of beam bridges, truss bridge, arch bridge, cable stayed bridge, or suspension naman. The selection of bridge type depends on the span length, loading conditions, ano pa ba? Construction method, di ba? And economic consideration. Okay? So, yan yung mga main structural types. So, steel design. Sa design naman tayo. Overview lang. So, syempre, pag sinabing design na, this involves determining the member size, diba? And connection details that can safely resist, syempre, yung applied load. This process includes structural analysis, selection of appropriate sections, and verification of strength and stability according to design codes. So, yung design codes natin, uh, uh, NSCP, di ba? NSCP tayo dun sa code natin. Okay? So the steel design is more specifically structural steel design is an area of structural engineering used to design steel structure. So napaka-critical nito kasi structural engineers ang nagde-design. So that yung isang structure, mariresist niya yung mga given load or designated loads doon sa structure niya para hindi siya mag-fail or mag-collapse. Okay? So, meron tayong uh, wait muna. So, before that, so structural analysis and design checks muna. So, steel beams must be checked muna for bending strength, shear capacity, buckling behavior. Columns must be checked for buckling and axial load. So, this check ensure that failure does not occur under both normal and extreme. Okay? Tandaan lang. Okay? So, lahat yan, ini-verify. Dito yan sa pangalawang bullet ng slide na to. And then, proceed na tayo. So, meron tayong common two methods in steel design. So, ito yung tinatawag mga design philosophies. So, dalawa yan. The first is allowable strength design or tinatawag natin ASD. The second is the load resistance factor design or LRFD. So, both methods aim to ensure safety but apply safety factors differently. Okay? So, nasa engineer na yan kung ano yung tamang design na gagamitin. So, focus muna tayo sa first one which is, allowable stress design. So, pag sinabing allowable stress design, produced by service loads limited to fraction of material strength. This method is simple and initiative and has been widely used in traditional engineering practice. And the other one, LRFD or load and resistance factor design. So this applies factors to loads and material resistance to account for uncertainties. Okay? It is considered more rational because it reflects the probabilistic nature of loads and material strength. So itong LRFD widely adopted in modern codes. Okay? So review lang tayo. Simple stress review. So bakit tayo magre-review ng stress? Because ito lang yung basic equation which can be used in the most problems in this subject. So stress is equals to force over the area. Diba? Kaya nga yung stress, ang unit niya is Newton per megapascal. Pascal, di ba? Newton per meter squared. Okay? So types of stresses. So, normal and shearing. So, sa normal, nandiyan yung axial, tension or compression, and bearing stress. So, yung normal, yung resisting area is perpendicular to the direction of force. Kung ito yung direction of force, ito yung resisting area. Okay? Sa shearing naman, yung resisting area is parallel to the direction of force. Kung ito yung direction of force, ito yung resisting area, parallel. Okay? So, sa shearing stress, meron tayong direct shear at saka yung punching shear. So, alam nyo na yan. Bilang sa strength of material. So, ito. Ngayon, i-discuss ito sabay ha. Sasama ko na yung code. Okay? So, balik tayo ulit doon sa ASD tsaka LRFD. So, allowable stress design. This method focuses on loads that exist at normal or typical condition. So, these loads are termed service loads which are unfactored. Take note ha. Yung mga loads unfactored. And they consist of dead, live, wind, and other loads that are expected to occur while the structure is in service. In ASD method, the structural element is designed so that elastic stresses produced by service load do not exceed some fraction of the specified minimum yield stress of the material. So, ang tawag dito ay allowable stress. So, the allowable stress used in design computation is computed by dividing the failure stress by the factor of safety. So, yun ang allowable stress. So, yung hindi lang yung failure mismo yung compute mo, but maglalagay ka ng allowance. Parang, uh, for example, kung 100 yung failure stress ng isang bagay, kung may factor of safety ka ng 2, so 50 lang. So, di ba? Huwag mo sasagarin. Di ba? Ika nga. Safety. Factor of safety. Okay? So, LRFD naman, so, second common design philosophy is term load and resistance factor. So, sabi ko nga kanina, this is widely used in design reinforced concrete steel and wood structures. Loads that act on structures are inherently variable. So, to account for load variability, so LRFD multiplies each load type by a specific load factor. Kaya nga doon sa term na load and resistance factor design. So, ang tawag na dito ngayon, factored load na. So, yung mga external factor, minumultiplyan pa natin ng specific load factors. So, commonly used by NSCP code is 1.2 plus 1.6. So, ang tawag na dito is factored load. So, 1.2 minumultiply sa dead load plus 1.6 ng live load. Okay? So, factored load. Tandaan doon sa ASD, unfactored. Ha? Take note, ha? So ano ba yung comparison ng dalawa? Although ASD and LRFD differ in approach, both are accepted by design codes. So engineers must understand both methods and apply them correctly depending on the project requirement and code provision. Okay? So ito yung factored loads. For example, commonly use 1.2 dead load plus 1.6 live load. So in design strength na niya, magiging PRN, factored loads U must be greater than or equal to factored loads. Ito yung tinatawag na resistance factor, yung phi. Multiply pa natin from code yan, depende. So from the strength of materials, Rn, nominal strength is the capacity. So is equals to the stress times the resisting area. Okay? So sabi ko nga sa inyo, iikot lang tayo sa strength of materials formula. So minanipulate lang nila yon. Nag-iba lang yung mga variable. Okay? So, bago tayo mag-proceed dun sa sample, so, NSCP code provisions for steel design, di ba? So, the National Structural Code of the Philippines provide rules and requirements for the safety design of steel. Okay, take note of that. So, members and connection. Compliance with the NSCP ensures uniform safety standards in structural design practice. Okay? Kaya mahalaga yung code. So, steel connections are critical because they transfer force between members. So NECP provisions ensure that connections are strong enough to resist the applied loads without premature failure. Okay? O sample problem muna para mas maintindihan natin yung pagkakaiba ng ASD at saka LRFD. So sabi dito, a rectangular steel plate is subjected to an axial dead load of 133 kilonewton and live load of 213 kilonewton. So the yield strength of the steel is 250 megapascal. So letter A, using ASD method, if the factor of safety is 1.5 with respect to yielding is required, determine the required plate cross-section area according to the ASD method. And by LRFD method naman, letter B, determine the required plate cross-section area based on yielding of the cross-section using the LRFD method. Use resistance factor of P equals to 0.9 and load factors of 1.2 and 1.6 for the dead and live loads respectively. So binigay na lahat ng mga parameters. So ayan na yung strength, yielding strength niya which is 250 megapascal. Given yung mga applied load, so 133 kilonewton raw and 213 kilonewton. Okay? Gagamitin natin both ASD and LRFD to determine the required minimum section, cross-section area. Okay? So using ASD muna. So given dead load 133 PLL 213 kilonewton, yielding strength 250 megapascal, factor of safety is 1.5. So first, kunin muna natin yung allowable strength, di ba? So kung given is 250, sabi ko nga sa inyo, pag AST, huwag natin sasagarin. Di-divide natin siya ng factor of safety. Given naman yung factor of safety which is ayan, 166. Ay, 1.5. Sorry. So therefore, Fy over factor of safety is equals to 166.67 megapascal. So 166.67 megapascal lang gagamitin natin na yielding strength na. And then, equate na natin to sa kunin muna natin yung total load. So total load, sabi ko nga sa inyo, unfactored. Dapat pag ASD, unfactored, ha? So, add mo lang yan. 133 kilonewton plus 213 kilonewton is equals to 346 kilo. And then, from the strength of materials formula, F allowable is equals to the force over the required minimum cross-section area. So therefore, minimum cross-sectional area equals P over allowable strength. So therefore, convert natin to kung megapascal to, so ang unit niyan is Newton per millimeter squared. Tama, di ba? So, kung nakakilonewton to, convert natin siya ng Newton. Be consistent sa mga unit, guys, ha? Marami nagkakamali dyan. Okay. 346,000 Newton over 166.67 megapascal. Therefore, the answer is 276 millimeters squared. O, take note, round up tayo pag required area. Hindi round down. Okay. Round up. Next, yan yung required mag-ASD ang ginamit. O, LRFD naman. So, pag LRFD, once again, ito ulit yung mga given. Nag-iba lang 0.9 naman yung P. So, pag LRFD, wala na ang factor of safety. But, reduction factor of P equals 0.9. Pero, sabi dito, pag LRFD ang gagamitin mo, maglalagay tayo ng multiple sa bawat axial load, di ba? So, sa dead load, sabi dun sa problem, 1.2 tapos 1.6 naman sa live load. Okay? So, this will be now the factored load, PU. So, multiplying it by 1.2 and 1.6, so the answer will be 500.4 kilonewton. 1.2 times 133 kilonewton plus 1.6 times 213 equals 500.4 kilonewton. And then, from the formula of strength of materials ulit, manipulate nyo lang yan. Therefore, the capacity is equals to Fy times the required minimum area. Therefore, multiplying it by the reduction factor of 0.9. So magiging 0.9 FY required, area required is equals to PU. Di ba sabi nga dapat greater than or equal, di ba? So PU na lang, equal na lang natin. So it is 0.9 to 150 megapascal area required is equals to 500.4 kilonewton. So therefore, the area required is convert ulit natin yung 500.4 kilonewton sa magiging 500,400 Newton. Okay? So therefore, the answer is 2,224 millimeters squared. Okay? Medyo malaking discrepancy, di ba? Yung dalawa. Okay. So that is a simple stress problem with using ASD and LRF. So NSCP code provisions applicable to steel connection. So sa steel design basis, the design strength and the allowable strength of connection should be determined in the accordance with the provisions of this section. ASD, kapag over factor of safety, LRFD, reduction factor. So ito naman yung mga basic load combinations for LRFD. Okay? So ayan na po lahat yung mga given parameters na yan. So focus lang tayo sa 1.2 plus 1.6. 1.2 dead load plus 1.6 live. Yun naman yung common. Okay? Kung titignan nyo doon sa ASD method, i-add lang na unfactored. Okay. So proceed naman tayo sa pension members. Okay. Ito yung start na mismo ng discussion. Tapos tayo sa introduction part na steel sign. So, tension members. So, pag sinabing tension members, these are structural elements subjected to axial tensile force. Okay? So, examples include bracing members, tie rods, truss members. Yan. Proper designs ensure that fracture or yielding does not occur. So, yan ang critical sa tension members. Dapat hindi mag-fail sa tensile yielding tapos sa tensile rupture. Okay? Kaya meron tayong dalawa. So, focus lang muna tayo sa tension members, ha? For tensile yielding, sasabay ko na yung sa code. So, on cross section, Pn is equals to Fy times Ag. And then, ang reduction factor is 0.9 for LRFD. And then, factor of safety is 1.67 for ASD. Code yan. Nasa code yan. So, hindi mababago yan. For tensile rupture naman in the net section, ang formula is Pn equals to Fu over times AE. So, where Phi or the reduction factor is 0.75 in LRFD and 2 naman ang factor of safety for ASD. So, ano ba yung mga parameters na yan? So, isa-isay natin. So, effective net area. Effective, hindi lang basta net area, but effective net area yung AE. So, meron niyang provisions from section 502.4.8 or 510.4.1 from 2015 NSCP code rather. So, yung effective net area raw must be less than or equal to 0.85 AG. Ano ba yung AG? AG is the gross area of the member. Okay? And then Fy specified minimum yield strength of the type of steel being used in megapascal or KSI. And then Fu is the specified minimum tensile strength of the type of steel being used. So in megapascal, in English system naman, KSI. Okay? So ano ba yung gross area and net area? So, paliwanag ko muna. So the gross area is the total cross-sectional area of the member. Diba? Kung ano yung resisting dun sa force na applied. Okay? Gross. Tandaan nyo gross. Ibig sabihin, total area lang. And then, well, the net area naman accounts for the material removed. For example, kung bolt connection yan, may butas, syempre tatanggalin mo yun due to bolt holes, di ba? So, intention members, net area are often governs. Syempre kasi bakit yun ang mostly nag-govern yung sa may net area? Kasi binawasan mo na yung area. So, lumit na yung capacity niya. Di ba? Ganun naman lagi. Habang binabawasan mo yung area, lilit yung capacity. Okay? O, diba? Sabi nga dito, failure may occurs at the weakest section. So, net and gross area. So, NACP. So, in net area, in computing the net area for tension and shear. So, for example, bolt hole, bolt connection muna. So, yung bolt hole should be taken 2 mm greater than the nominal dimension of the hole. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kung ang diameter ng bolt hole is 10, dadagdagan mo lang ng 2 mm sa metric. In millimeters naman lagi yan. So, plus 2. So, for chain of holes extending across the part in any diagonal zigzag line, the net width of the part shall be obtained by deducting from the gross with the sum of the diameters of slot dimensions as provided in section 510.3.2 of all holes in the chain and adding for each gauge space in the chain the quantity S squared over 4G, where S is the longitudinal center-to-center spacing or tinatawag natin pitch of any two consecutive holes in millimeter again, and G is the transverse center-to-center spacing gauge between fastener gauge lines in millimeter. So, medyo mahaba yung definition. So, ito, ginagamit lang to, NACP provision na to, kapag staggered yung connection ng hole. Pag sinabi kasi staggered, ganito. Oh, wait. Bago tayo pumusid doon sa staggered, ito muna yung pagkakaiba ng net area in gross area. For example, ito yung tension load or applied load. Ito yung plate. So, yung gross, pag kinuha mo yung cross-section yan, ito yun. Di ba? So, yung thickness lang niya, tsaka yung width nitong plate. And then, yung net area, babawasan mo rin yung diameter ng bolt hole. So, plus 2, sabi sa provision. Sa provision. Okay? So, ito naman yung kanina, mahaba na kapag yung connection ng bolt hole is bolts is staggered. Sabi nga, may zigzag. So, madali lang na naman yan. For example, ito yung width. Pen. For example, ito yung gross width. Makita yung, ayun. Ito, di ba? Ito. Yan yung WG. Gross width. Di ba? Kaya nga yung net width is equals to WG minus summation of the bolt hole diameter. So, for example, dito sa drawing nito, dalawa yan. Isa, dalawa. Di ba? Ayun yung failure eh. And then, may isa siyang staggered. Zigzag siya. So, S squared over 4G where S is the pitch and G is the gauge. Ayun naman, given na rito. Ito. Hindi makita yung cursor. Ayan. Ito yung G. Ito yung S. Center to center yan, ha? So, therefore, we can now compute for the net area after mong masolve yung width net or net width. So, net width times the thickness of the plate. Okay. Yan yung stagger. So, hindi pa yan yung effect, net area lang yan, AN. But kailangan, di ba sabi sa provision, AE. So, yung compare mo pa yan doon sa 0.85 ng gross area. Tandaan nyo na sa provision nyo. So, ibig sabihin lang kung ano yung mas mababa lang doon sa dalawa. And to get the effective net area, meron pa tayong multiplier na U, where U is the shear lag factor. So, nasa provision pa rin to. So, since bolted connection naman muna ang pinag-uusapan natin, so yung U lang naman is equals to 1. So, 1 times AN is equals to AE. Pero you must compare it muna sa 0.85 AG, ha? Patandaan. So, iba naman kasi for welded connection pa. So, later on pa natin i-discuss yan. So, focus muna tayo dito sa bolted connection. So, to further understand, let's try an example. Okay? So, let's try an example. So, a 20 millimeter thick plate, Fy is 250 megapascal, and Fu is 415 megapascal. It has 20 millimeter nominal bolt holes. So, using ASD and LRFD, NSCP 2015, the following apply. So, credit nga pala to the owner of this problem. Ha? Kinuha ko to sa Gilisanya Review Center. Okay. So, I'm not, hindi ko inakin yung sample problem ko. Credit to the rightful owner. Okay? So, using ASD and LRFD, the following apply for tensile yielding. Ayan na yung formula, binigay na. Pn is equal to FYAG. And then, 0.9 sa LRFD, 1.67 sa ASD. For tensile and rupture in the net section, given Tn is equal to Fu times AE. 0.75 sa LRFD, 2 sa ASD. So, that determine the tension yielding capacity and the tension rupture capacity. Okay. So, pinakamadali din yung tension yielding kasi gross area lang naman kailangan. So, let's try to solve it one at a time using ASD and LRFD. Okay. Solution. So, determine the tension yielding capacity. Siyempre, saan magpe-fail yan? Dito yan magpe-fail. So, gross muna. Diba? Ayan. Okay. Ganyan mag... Diba? So, diretso lang. So, ano yung gross area? So, given, the first muna, tension yielding capacity. Okay. So, sabi friend pala dun sa code, yung bolt hole diameter magiging plus 2. So, yun. So, yung diameter ng bolt hole is 20 given. Pero, kailangan sa provision, plus 2 pa. So, 22. Take note, plus 2. Okay, guys, plus 2. So, 22 ang gagamitin natin. So, WG, or the gross width, sorry. Gross width is 200 millimeters. So, bakit 200 millimeters? Iba naman kasi sa figure. 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50 millimeter is equals to 200 millimeters. So, Fy ang gagamitin natin, yielding strength, 250 megapascal. So, therefore, the gross area is gross width times the thickness of the plate. So, 4,000. Okay? So, therefore, Pn is equals to FYAG times AG. So, from the formula, capacity ang hinahanap. So, 1,000 kilonewton. Ang magiging sagot mo dyan is 1 million. Kasi 250 megapascal Newton, multiply mo sa magiging million yan. So, kinonvert na lang automatic sa kilonewton. Okay? Kinonvert na yan hindi ko na papakita. Newton to kilonewton. Pang grade 1 lang yan. Okay? So, given naman yung reduction factor tsaka yung factor of safety, so 0.9 tsaka 1.67. So, multiply lang yan, di ba? Multiply natin sa 0.9 yung 1,000 kilonewton, so 900 kilonewton. And then ASD, 598.8 kilonewton divided by 1.67. Okay, ganun na kasimple. yielding capacity. Tapos, number 1. Yan ang pinakamadali. Okay? So, proceed naman tayo sa tension rupture. So, sa tension rupture, kailangan ma-distinguish mo yung mga failure patterns. Lahat. So, from the figure, ito yung isa. So, pwede siyang magkaroon ng failure dyan. Pwede rin dito, ganyan. Pangalawa. Pwede rin dyan, di ba? At pwede rin ganito. Pero hindi naman siya more likely mangyayari. Okay? So, 4 na pattern ng failure dyan. So, isa-isahin mo dapat yan. So, from pattern 1 to pattern. So, bisa natin si pattern 1. Pag-tension rupture. Kasi ganun yung orientation ng bolt hole. Okay? So, sa pattern 1, delta determine the tension rupture capacity. So, given parameters, effective bolt hole diameter is 22 mm. Thickness of the plate is 20. At gross width is 200. But this time, we will use tensile strength. Hindi na yung yielding strength. 415 mm. So, let us solve for the net area. So, net area. So, kailangan pa rin natin si gross area. Diba? Mamaya, papaliwanag ko. So, net area is, balik tayo. So, net width muna. Is equals to net gross width minus the bolt hole diameter. So, since isa lang naman yung bolt na tinamaan dyan sa pattern 1, so minus 1 lang. So, 200 minus 22. Okay? So, the net area is 3,560 mm squared. So, sabi doon sa provision, we must compare it to 0.85 Ag. So, since yung nga pala yung yun natin is 1, so yun pa rin naman yung effective net area. Pero hindi pa yan yung total, yung talagang effective net area. So, i-compare pa natin yan dun sa 0.85 Ag. So, but 0.85 Ag is 3/4. Di ba? So, dapat, sabi doon sa provision, wag raw lalampas yung net area doon. So, inequalities yun eh. It must be less than or equal. Di ba? Pag lumampas, so doon gamitin mo yung 0.85. Yun yung effective net area. Okay? Minimum lang ng dalawa yan. Noted ha? Okay. So, therefore, 3/4 ang ating AN. AE. So, computing for the capacity. So, FU times AE will give us 1,411 kilonewton. So, factor of safety is 2 and then reduction factor is 0.75 based on the provision. So, therefore, that is the answer. For ASD, 705.5 kilonewton and for LRFD, 1,058.25 kilonewton. Next. For pattern number 2. So, nagkaroon na siya ng isang staggered connection. Yeah? So, pero ilan na yung bolt hole na babawas natin? So, 2. Okay? So, ganun pa rin yung step-by-step procedure niya, yung approach. Pero, magkakaroon na siya ng plus S squared over 4D. So, gross width minus 2 bolt hole diameter plus S squared over 4D. Okay? Yung S natin is 37.5. G natin is 2. So therefore, the answer is 3,260.625 mm squared. And then, multiplying it by shear lag factor, the same. So therefore, compare natin ulit sa 0.85 Ag, which is 3,400 mm squared. So therefore, the effective net area is 3,260.625 mm squared. And then, computing for the capacity, Fu times Ae will give us 1,353.16 kilonewton. And then, divide mo sa factor of safety for ASD and multiply by phi 0.75 for LRFD. Therefore, the answer is 676.58 kilonewton and 1,014.87 kilonewton. Next, pattern 3. So, same pa rin. Ngayon, dalawa na yung staggered. So, ilan na yung bolt holes? 3. So, therefore, WN is equals to gross width minus 3 multiplied by the bolt hole diameter, which is 22, plus 2 staggered connections, which is S squared over 4G. Is equals to 148.063 mm. Okay? And then multiplying it by the thickness of the plate will give us 2,961.25 millimeters squared. And then multiplying it by the shear log factor 1, effective net area is 2,961.25 millimeters squared. O, i-compare ulit natin based sa provision to 0.85 AG. So therefore, AE is 2,961.25 mm squared. So, using the formula once again for tension rupture, FU times AE is equals to 1,228.92 kilonewton. Divided by factor of safety of 2 will give us ASD 614.45 kilonewton. And for LRFD, multiplying it by 0.75 will give us 921.68 kilonewton. And then this kaya kailangan mo pa rin i-analyze, pero more likely hindi man mag-occur, pero kailangan mo pa rin i-analyze. Baka, kaya nga, para sure. So pattern 4, may iwan isang bolt. So, therefore, in drawing the FBD, so 5 out of 6 na lang ng P dito sa kaliwa. Di ba? Tama, kasi 6 yung holes na nagre-resist doon. 6 na bolt. So, 5 out of 6 na lang yung capacity niya ng P. Okay? Sa kabila. So, ganun pa rin naman yan. Since wala na namang staggered connection, so ma-minus natin 2 bolt hole. Will give us 156 mm. So, therefore, AE1 is 3,120 millimeters squared. Then, i-compare natin sa 0.85 AG, which is 3/4, therefore 3,120 millimeters squared will govern. And then, F Q times AE ulit, 129.8 kilonewton. Diba? For ASD, 64.4 kilonewton. But, hindi pa yan yung final answer. Sabi nga doon sa FBD, 5 out of 6 na lang ng P. So, kukunin mo yung 5 out of 6 doon. Divide mo sa 5 over 6 or multiply by 6 over 5 will give us a capacity of 776.88 kilonewton. Mas lumaki siya, di ba? Kasi may katulong pa kasing isang bolt doon. Ay, ayun. May katulong na isa pang bolt. Okay. So, ganun din sa LRFD. Multiply naman ng phi will give us 97.1 kilonewton. But, hindi pa yung final answer, divide mo ng 5 over 6. So, it is 1,165.32 kilonewton ang capacity. Okay? So, natapos mo na lahat yung pattern and then, i-summarize mo lang. Summary of capacity for ASD. For pattern 1, 705.5 kilonewton. Pattern 2, 676.58 kilonewton. 614 naman sa pattern 3, then 776. So, syempre, ano mag-govern dyan sa apat na yan? Siyempre, pag capacity na pinag-uusapan, yung pinakamaliit, ibig sabihin hanggang dito lang yung capacity niya. Kasi pag lumampas, magpe-fail na siya doon sa pattern 3. Di ba? Hindi 776 ang sagot. Ha? Take note of that. Pag capacity, the smallest governs. Okay? Pero kanina, sabi ko, di ba, pag ang hinahanap is area or the width or the cross-section area, round up, lakihan nyo para mas safe. Okay? And then, for the LRFD, the summary of the capacities, ayan, pattern 1, 1,058.25 kilonewton. For pattern 2, 1,014.87 kilonewton. Pattern 3, 921.69 kilonewton. And pattern 4, 1,165.32 kilonewton. So the smallest capacity again governs. So the answer is P equals to 921.69 kilonewton. Okay. Well, that is for the design of tension members in computing tension yielding and in cross section and tension rupture in the net section. So in summary, okay class, in summary, structural steel design is a symmetric process that integrates material behavior, structural analysis, and code requirements. Diba? So mastery of these fundamentals is essential before advancing to the more complex steel design topics. Ang technique lang naman dito, madali lang naman siya kung titignan yung process, paulit-ulit lang. So practice lang, okay? Guys, medyo marami lang po siya. So, thank you and thank you for listening once again. This is Engineer Adi Castro. God bless everyone.